Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about Curtis Jones because I think his performance in the Merseyside derby against Everton at right back really highlighted the fact to me that I think that Liverpool will be fine once Trent Alexander-Arnold leaves, and I think this performance proves it. Because if we're being honest, if everyone is fit, then yes, obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold is the first choice right back. If he's not fit, then it's Conor Bradley. If not him, then it's probably Joe Gomez. And if not him, he's probably Gerald Kwanzaa. So Curtis Jones playing at right back in the Merseyside derby in a massive occasion on the back of two consecutive losses for Liverpool prior to the international break comes in as the fifth choice right back, does a phenomenal job, and I think we have to praise him for that. But before we praise Curtis Jones, I think we have to praise Arne Slot because Liverpool did have a problem in the cup final against Newcastle down that right hand side where Gerald Kwanzaa played. Now this is not a knock on Kwanzaa, I think he's a phenomenal talent and he's going to have a very bright future, but that's going to be at centre back, not at right back. So this heat map here is Trent Alexander-Arnold's for the current Premier League season, and that's league only. And obviously you can see he's got a lot of touches in his own half. But what he also has is a lot of touches in the opponent's half, not necessarily to the byline, but just in that space where, in that half space where he can really create something and he can really help out Mo Salah in that area. And if you compare this to Gerald Kwanzaa, which, I'm not knocking Kwanzaa, but this was just in one game in the cup final, then you can see he doesn't get as far forward as Trent Alexander-Arnold does, and that was an issue in that cup game, which led to Newcastle, dominating Liverpool on that side, and Kwanzaa very much just a makeshift right back, not someone who can really offer much going forward, which is why I thought it was so genius that Arne Slot decided to play Curtis Jones at right back in the Merseyside derby. Because now look at where Jones picks up the ball a lot. Yes, in his defensive half, yeah, but he's also in the attacking half as well, getting on the ball and creating chances and helping the team out in an attacking sense. Now, if you were to go back and watch the first Merseyside derby of the season, you'd see that what Everton did was defend very low and let the back four have all of the possession. The back four in that game were Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Bradley, and they had far more possession and touches of the ball than any other player on the pitch, and it was a considerable more than you normally expect in a game of football. And despite the fact that Liverpool scored 2 goals in that game, they only had 6 shots in total and were really struggling to break that Everton side down and were really struggling to create any chances from it without Trent Alexander-Arnold getting his passes through the lines. And that was my worry. If Kwanzaa was going to play in this game, and again, I'm not knocking Kwanzaa, but if he were, then I would worry about how Liverpool were going to attack and the support Mo Salah would be getting down that right hand side. So I think the fact that the Slot decided to go for Jones and the performance that he had on the day perfectly illustrated why I think he was a much better option than Kwanzaa for this game, and why I think that Liverpool will be fine if Trent Alexander-Arnold does leave Liverpool this season. And that's because Arne Slot clearly understands how to get the best out of his players. Curtis Jones, while playing at right back, wasn't actually there that often. Quite often, he was actually playing in this position here, in between the left centre back of Brantwaite and the left back of Mykolenko. And what they were doing was Gravenberch was actually defending in the right back when Liverpool were in possession a lot more. And Andy Robertson, similarly at left back, was also getting into this position inverted to leave Salah and Diaz out wide. But not only that, Curtis Jones, as well as being in this pocket here, causing a lot of damage here because Everton didn't know who to pick him up. Was it Alcaraz who's meant to track him back, or was it Alcaraz meant to be helping out Mykolenko with Salah? Was it meant to be James Garner? And it caused Everton so many headaches. But not only that, they could also interchange. Salah could also go in here, could be a bit more of a goal scoring threat, and Jones could also go on the outside. And I think that's why I think Liverpool will be absolutely fine when Trent leaves, is because Slot knows his players so well. He can get the best out of them regardless of where they play on the pitch. And Curtis Jones in this game was the absolute epitome of that. And I got some stills from the game to perfectly highlight that as well. As you can see, highlighted within the black circle is Curtis Jones. It's him driving into the heart of that Everton defence, not Mohamed Salah. He's the one keeping the width, and this is early on in the first half when Liverpool are on the attack. You can see Curtis Jones, who's normally an attacking midfielder or winger. He's very comfortable in these positions. And would you see Trent Alexander-Arnold in these positions? No, probably not, because he'd probably rather be the one out wide, the one who's going to get on the ball and create something with it. But Jones, he doesn't mind. He's going to make that selfless run for the team. And this is the move played out a little bit more. As you can see on the top, Curtis Jones highlighted again, and down the second one player highlighted, that's Andy Robertson, the two Liverpool fullbacks, making that diagonal run into the heart of Everton's defence, because it's their job to try and create and drag players out of the way so that Liverpool's wide men and Diaz and Salah can have more space and they can cut in and cause the thread. And would you, like I said, would you see Trent in these positions? Maybe in this game, maybe because that was a tactic, but I think Curtis Jones is much better player in these situations. Here's another example. This time, Curtis Jones is slightly on the outside. Salah decided to take the more inside route here, and this ball ends up finding Salah eventually, and he ends up getting a header, which Pickford saves. But again, he's in the most attacking line. He's far forward. He's trying to create something and trying to break down this Everton side. And yes, Curtis Jones is very comfortable in the middle of the park, but this is him highlighting now, passing the ball out wide to Salah, and he's actually going to make the run outside of him as well on the overlap. And as you can see, Salah has now the ball, Curtis Jones has made that run, and Salah can either decide to cut it back, decide to drive into that Everton defence on his own, or go out wide to Curtis Jones. And not only does he just pass the ball, he makes the run as well, creating the space and dragging the opposition players. And this is the build-up to Liverpool's goal from Diogo Jota, and I really wanted to highlight this because I just thought it was honestly funny. Because think about it, right? Andy Robertson's on the ball there on the far side. You've got Van Dijk, Konate. And where do you think the right back for Liverpool should be? He should be probably in line with Robertson. You can use the markings of the grass to try and highlight where he should be. And I've drawn that square there because I think that's where a typical right back should be. But he's not. Curtis Jones isn't even in the picture whatsoever. He's much higher up the pitch. And that's what led to Everton being pinned down because they couldn't get out of their own half, and Liverpool were just dominant on them. And this is in the second half when Liverpool had a really, really good second half and just dominated Everton really. And this is the still rolled on a bit more. Obviously, there really is Curtis Jones. Again, defensive responsibility is a thing. He does have to take account for it. However, it's all about going forward and what can you do there. And this is why Jones was a much better option in this game rather than Gerald Kwanzaa. And like I said earlier about Gravenberch filling in that space so Curtis Jones could go forward, or sometimes it was Salah dropping a bit deeper. This time it's Dominic Szoboszlai, and Curtis Jones isn't really even making an effort to get back because he trusts his teammates. He knows they're going to get the ball and they're going to have another attack. So he's much better off being in the position that he's in, much further up the field, and causing the Everton defenders, pandemonium really. And while going forward, Curtis Jones was really good in this game. I think defensively as well, you have to take notice of his performance going the other way. He won 1 out of his 2 ground duels, 2 out of 3 aerial duels. He had 1 blocked shot, 1 interception. He had 85 touches, 93% accurate passes. I think in this game that he was absolutely phenomenal. And this is why I say I think Liverpool will be absolutely fine going forward if Trent were to leave, because I don't expect Curtis Jones to be playing a lot of right back. I expect it will probably be Conor Bradley. And even if Liverpool decide not to go with Conor Bradley as the first choice and it decides to be someone else that they decide to recruit, seeing how well Curtis Jones played in this game against Everton made me realise that I trust Arne Slot. Arne Slot is a masterful tactician that no matter who Liverpool decide to go with at right back next season, they will be better defensively than Trent Alexander-Arnold. And whatever qualities they have going forward, and I'm sure they will be good going forward because I don't think Liverpool would buy a right back, or if it's Bradley, he clearly has abilities going forward that are very well used and utilised. That I think Arne Slot will just get the best out of the player, and that player will then fit into the team, and the team will work with them to have the best outcome. So whatever attacking outlet that player right back has, whether it's a Frimpong and they're high and wide and they're receiving progressive passes and they're trying to beat the men, or if there's someone who likes to invert and play into midfield, or if there's someone who maybe sits back a little bit more and isn't as good going forward, whatever it be, I believe that Arne Slot will be able to get the best out of that right back next season, because based on Curtis Jones playing there, I think Arne Slot is a masterful tactician, and no matter who it is, that Liverpool will be absolutely fine. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit because obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold is world class, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.